Whereas in distributed, the different components are installed on different machines, and they are different. They act as different Splunk instances and different with different roles. Okay. And what are Splunk enhanced solutions? So platform is so our core product is Splunk Enterprise. Okay, and that is what we call it also Splunk Core. So after completing this course, Splunk Fundamentals 1, you will, when you will go for certification exam, it will be called Splunk Core user. Okay, because it's Splunk Core or Splunk. Previously, Splunk was also called a Splunk Enterprise, and then they started calling it Splunk Core a year ago. And then so because they're advanced solutions and they have different names, so everyone gets confused with Splunk Enterprise. And one of the premium solutions is also called Splunk Enterprise Security. So Splunk Enterprise is machine data analytics solution, and another enhanced or premium solution is Splunk Enterprise Security, which is a SIM. Okay, so people got confused with these two names, and then they start calling it Splunk Core. So Splunk Core is the platform for machine data analytics, and the enhanced solutions are many, which we will be talking about. Enhanced solutions are basically just relate these solutions to the apps that you install on iOS or Android phone. Some are free, some are paid. So that's what we talked, we discussed. So what is Splunk? Splunk basically is a platform for machine data analytics. It aggregates machine data, it analyzes the data, gets find out information from the raw data and gets answers for you. So the steps are indexing that data, so basically storing the data as a file system and not in a database, searching and investigating the data using SPL, search processing language, which is similar to Google. How the Google search engine works. So how do you search in Google? You use keywords, you use a combination of words, etc., phrases sometimes. So that similar to that search, SPL also helps you search through the data using the keywords and phrases and combination of keywords, etc. But it also gives you more capabilities to convert that list of events into a representation like a table, like a chart, a report, a dashboard, etc. Adding knowledge, enhancing the data with more information, adding more context to it. We'll be looking into that. Using lookups, using fields, using knowledge objects, etc. So monitoring and alert. So if you find if you are running a search query finds something malicious, suspicious, you can generate an alert or a report out of it, and you can schedule the alert and report so that if such activity happens in future, you should be alerted and you should be documented. Yeah, without your support. Finally, reporting and analyzing. Yeah, so building custom reports and dashboards for executive review. So technical guys, they use Splunk for solving their technical challenges, but management, higher management, they want to know why what was the returns on investment for Splunk. What is the business value that I get from Splunk? Why am I investing so much in a solution? So for them, you need to also build reports and dashboards and show them what are you doing. So that can help you there. And major areas and categories of use cases or problems that different departments in an organization face are these application management, operations management, security and compliance, and so on. We'll be looking into that more in future slides. What data? Like I said, when anyone asks you, we say we index any data from any source. Some of the sample, data sources are these: computers, networking devices, virtual machines, internet devices, communication devices, VoIP, for example, contact centers, sensors, databases. So these are data sources. So just imagine, how they communicate. So on the right side, you can see they communicate through syslog, they communicate through SNMP, they communicate through WMI. You can also load or download and upload a sample file or offline data in Splunk. So it's log files or Windows log files, for example, operating system log files, Linux configuration files, or any other application configuration file, messages, IM messages, email messages, call detail records like VoIP call records, video call records, etc. Clickstream, alerts, metrics, scripts, change requests tickets. So basically any kind of data and any kind of data source that generate records and that create basically that can has the capability to generate records can give data and integrate with Splunk. So there is a nice guide about it, the essential guide to machine data. So probably I have it, and it was released quite long back. So I don't know if you are able, you will be able to find it on the website, but I have an offline copy of that, and probably I will be able to send it to you, you guys who have attended the course. So so you can have a look at it. So it's very important. It's the basic of Splunk, because people don't know where to start. What should I collect? So some people are into application analytics, or they're into application monitoring. So there are different departments in an organization, right? There is data center team, there is server team, there is storage team, there is security team, there is IT operations team. So they don't know where to start. So this guide gives you basically all the major departments, I would say, or categories of of the or teams, basically different teams that build an organization, that is basically operating in an organization, that run the operations of an organization. So what type of data according to the team would be relevant for analyzing. So for example, applications, they have, it shows, the guide shows what would be the different data sources that would be relevant for application analytics, and what. Okay, so indexing any type of data from any data source. How does Splunk work? So Splunk has mainly three components. Splunk forwarders, they collect data, from operating systems, from laptops, from desktops, basically any operating system, which where you can install an agent. So Splunk forwarders are built, Splunk provided and Splunk built agents, software clients, which you can install on Windows, you can install on Linux, you can install on Mac, Solaris. There are a couple of more operating systems where you install it, and the, the agent or Splunk forwarder that collects the OS metrics and important information that should be collected and forwarded to Splunk indexer. Splunk indexer is a component where the data is stored. All of the raw data is stored in a file system as files and organized in folders. So just imagine a file system as as any of if anyone of you has used tape library, wherein the users, they used to copy, for taking the backup of user data, users would copy all of the data on a central folder, and that folder would be then copied or basically moved to the tape. So in the tape, it will be stored in a in a single folder, but compressed and zipped. So the raw data is stored in the same raw format. They will not change, but it will be it will be basically aggregated and compressed in a zip format folder. When you restore that tapes in some other tape library, or you will get again the same folder back, uncompressed and unzipped, and you can get the whatever text file, PDF file, Word file, Excel file, etc., whatever you want. So Splunk indexer also uses the same terminology. So you can store the data in files and folders in the raw format, and it will be also compressed and zipped. So Splunk search head, it is another component which doesn't store anything, which only generates search queries. So it's so in standalone deployment.
Naveen, sorry to cut you.
Yes.
I think the attendees are finding it difficult to hear you well. Your voice is
Really?
breaking in between. Yeah.
Uh,
Just
is
check
it better
your.
now? Okay. Let me check my internet.
Yeah.
Is it better now? Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Is it broken or something? Let me check. Is it better
For
now?
me, it is okay. Mr. Mustafa, can you?
Hello, guys. Can you hear it better now, or is it still?
Can you please respond on the message box, please?
I think there was AC near to my table, and maybe I also closed the windows and doors.
Okay, he's saying it's better now. All right, perfect. You can.
It is better now. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I'll continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my screen is also visible, right? Clearly. Okay. So how does Splunk work? Splunk basically has three components: Splunk forwarders, Splunk indexers, and Splunk searchers. So forwarders is, they are basically agents which can be installed on any operating system, whereas Splunk, Splunk data sources. So basically, any kind of data source can also send data to Splunk indexer through SNMP or syslog or any TCP UDP protocol. So over the network. So the data is stored in Splunk indexer as a file system, and then Splunk searchhead connects to the Splunk indexer and searches. Okay, so you run the search queries on Splunk searchhead, and the data is searched on Splunk indexer. So this is a distributed deployment where forwarder is a different component, a different I would say, when I say component, it's a different set of software. Yeah, so it's a client. It's a very lightweight client, software client. Splunk indexer is Splunk software again, but it is installed with the role of only indexing. So it will have storage. It will focus on storage, and it will focus on the IOPS of the hard disk. So Splunk searchhead, it is more of it is more of the it's more of computing and resources. So because Splunk search queries, they need to be running most of the time, like in real time for and also as saved searches and for a long time. So this component focuses on computing resources. So this is how distributed deployment looks like. And when you assign resources for search, you need to focus on the cores, CPU cores, and the frequency of each CPU. And combined, there are different specifications for if different types of searches. Indexers, you need to focus on hard disk, the number of hard disks, the operating system of the hard disk, the RPM of the disk, rotations. And forwarders are the basic ones. It's a very lightweight agent, so you can depend on any normal desktop specifications. And then when you combine all of these together, it is called standalone deployment, wherein you have a forwarder, you have an indexer, you have a searcher on a single machine and in a single Splunk instance. And that is suitable for a very small and medium in a small and medium business, but for testing purposes, for just doing some sample data analytics or during a POC. Okay, but definitely it is never recommended for production, even though it is a small medium business, or or even an enterprise. We don't recommend even for 10 GB of data analytics having Splunk in standalone deployment in production. So in production, it is never ever recommended to have Splunk in standalone. So I just want to quickly check. So hello, I had to restart my modem, so I got disconnected and I am back now. So can you see my screen? And am I audible clearly? Let's just do some check.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah. And what about my voice? Because
I think it's better now.
yeah, it's better. Because I don't know what, I am using a headphone and the mic is very near to my, okay, sound is okay.
Okay, you can.
Okay, then probably it is on the other side then. Okay, because I have rechecked my ISP modem, I rebooted quickly, and even my headphones are connected very close to my mouth, the mouthpiece. So For you, it's fine, right, Rashida?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So we'll continue. Okay. So
Yeah.
So how does Splunk work? We have covered that. And how is Splunk deployed? So it is available for on-prem, it is available on cloud, and Splunk Lite, it is now end of sale and support. Splunk Lite was suitable for only, a couple of GBs, so 25 GB, for example. It had the maximum limit of 25 GB data analytics. So Splunk Enterprise is our core solution, which has, unlimited capacity for analytics. So the licensing for Splunk is in GB per day, gigabytes per day. So, usually the traditional solutions, or, most of the solutions, they have EPS, or, they depend upon events per second. That depends upon the number of users. They depend upon number of data sources, number of devices, for example, how many devices you have, and based upon that, they do the licensing. But Splunk Enterprise, they look into the data volume. So in GB per day, gigabytes per day. So, we help customers and partners to size the solution and find out the license capacity, and then they can go for the appropriate amount of license. So Splunk apps are nothing but like I said, it's a Splunk Enterprise is a platform for machine data analytics, and you basically, Splunk also has an app store. You can say it is splunkbase.com, and you can check out that website, and you can see a lot of apps which you can install on Splunk platform to get to achieve your use case. So, for example, if you want to have a single dashboard on Splunk which monitors, or which provides you dashboards for your firewall, Palo Alto firewall, for example, for your endpoint security, which is CrowdStrike, for example, or Symantec, and your Cisco routers, your Cisco switches. So there are so many apps which which provide you integration with the different well-known technologies in the market, and you can have all the dashboards on installed on Splunk. So these dashboards, they come in packages. Okay, so these are called apps. So the apps, they basically they once the data is given to Splunk or ingested in Splunk, it is it's parsed or normalized. Basically, it is converted into a format which can populate the dashboards and reports, and so basically it's a package. So data collection, data transformation, and data representation, all of that is done, and then you get the dashboards populated with the information from your Cisco routers, from your Palo Alto firewalls, from your endpoint security solutions, etc. So that's the job of the apps. So to provide you as many possible integrations with well-known technology. So in case if there is no app available, you can develop it by yourself, or you can request the app store to develop it for you. And if they find the use case very, very important and valuable, they can definitely help you out. So, and one more thing is, this app store is available, or it's it can be used by the community, which is partners and customers, along with Splunk. So there are a few apps which clearly mentions it is Splunk developed. There are some apps which are authorized by Splunk. So it means that some apps, like the premium apps, which we'll be covering in future slides, they are developed by Splunk and they are supported by Splunk, because they have been well researched for many years, and then developed, so that all of their customers and partners can take advantage of that. Definitely they are paid, but they will support in case of any, but Splunk will support them in case of any break fix issues, and any kind of upgrade and technical challenges. But whereas the free apps, they are verified by Splunk, but they will not be supported by Splunk, because it's just a contribution from the community. So the partners and customers, they have developed it, and they are sharing it for free usage. So in case of any issues, the you will have to analyze, as an end user, you will have to analyze the app and support it. You can, but definitely there is a website called answers.splunk.com, which is a community website, and where all these Splunk enthusiasts, they post their queries, they get answers, and they share information and all. Yeah. So that's how it is. It is a combination of community as well as Splunk contribution. So Splunk Enhanced Solutions, or we also call it premium solutions, because they are paid, and they are, but they are built in such a way that you don't you get all the support, and you get your job done with these solutions in an efficient way. So that's why we basically have additional license and additional value for it. So Splunk IT Service Intelligence, it is more of IT operations solution, like ITSM. The HP OpenView is kind of very popular solution for that. So ITSI is also built in a similar fashion, and also does the job of connecting the business uh, application layer to the infrastructure application layer, and so on. So I'll not go deep in that, but you can understand what it does now. So Splunk Enterprise Security, I would say it is a Gartner leader SIM. It has been the SIM solution, in Gartner as a leader since last 6 years. Even currently, the 7th year, it is still the leader. Splunk UBA, it's a new category of security, and Gartner has given a term called user and entity behavior analytics. So this quadrant was released a couple of years before, and there were very few solutions that were competing in this category. So Splunk UBA, was developed by Splunk to cater to this category and requirement of security, wherein insider threats, fraud, what do you call it, fraud activity, and rogue employees, and suspicious internal behaviors, inside activity, etc. So the threats that could be inside your organization, be it any kind of from any kind of application, any kind of hardware, any kind of software, any user, or which could be doing suspicious activity, malicious activity, knowingly or unknowingly, can be analyzed and can be recorded, for forensics purpose and compliance purpose. So just imagine, ITSI is for entirely IT operations. Splunk Enterprise Security is entirely for visibility and security analytics. Splunk UBA is for, again, visibility and security analytics, but for insider threats and for fraudulentious activity. Okay, thank you. I hope it is clear. So do you have any questions here till now? Or my voice is clear? Just a quick check. If anyone is facing any issues, just quickly let me know. Yeah, otherwise I'll just continue. Okay. Any questions? Okay, great. So anytime you can post any questions, and I'll be looking at it every frequent moment. So users and roles. Splunk has three main roles: user, power user, and admin. So like I said, after fundamentals one, now here in fundamentals one, we are covering the tasks of a user role. Okay. So similarly, there is another course which is fundamentals 2, which covers the tasks of power user, and then there is again a course called Splunk Enterprise Admin, which covers few more modules, and it is more of an intermediate course, and it gives you knowledge of all the tasks and all the super admin activities that you can do using Splunk, in terms of configuration, in terms of management, in terms of reporting, searching, etc. So logging into Splunk. So once you install Splunk, so Splunk is pretty much available on the website. If you go to splunk.com, there's on the right top there is an icon where you can register. Click, create an account, give all your details, and then it will take you to a free version of Splunk where you can download it, and it will be valid for 2 months, and I think it gives you around uh, 500 MB, or so half a GB of data analytics, which is valid for 2 months, and you can test it out. So it is pretty much a simple software, and it is available for Linux, for Windows, and for Mac. So you can download and install it. We'll be looking into how to install it, but once you install it, there is a default username and password. You log in into it, and once you log in, this is the dashboard, or the basic app which is installed. It's called Searching and Reporting app, which gives you a nice search area where you can run the search queries just like you see in Google search engine. So choosing your app, once you install your apps, all of your apps will be listed on the left side like this, and you can jump between the apps by clicking on them, and you can install and uninstall apps using the gear icon here. So, but when you click on Splunk Enterprise, okay, you get back to this home page where you can see all the apps, and you have the option to jump between these different apps. Yeah, that's what I told, home app. And searching and reporting, that's the basic app. So when when you install Splunk, you get this app only. You can then install more apps as per your requirement. Once you click into searching and reporting app, you can see a lot of different bars and areas. So it is on the top, it is called Splunk bar. So these kind of questions can come because, like I said, Splunk Fundamentals 1 is a very basic course and first step for all the intermediate and advanced course, and it is a very basic exam. So you might be asked simple questions like what is this, what a Splunk bar does, what an application navigation bar does, or and even sometimes what this query does, and what does this color code mean. So it is pretty simple exam, but you need to just very much be aware of the GUI of Splunk. So that's what I can tell right now. And so you can say a home page is where you have Splunk Enterprise. So how do you go to home page? By clicking on Splunk Enterprise. A question can come like this. You cannot say by going to apps and then go selecting searching and reporting app. No. So one click on Splunk Enterprise icon and you will be back to wherever you are, you'll be back to Splunk Enterprise homepage, where you can see all the different apps. Then there is app navigation bar, where you have the different options or tabs which you can jump in and see into the data. So if you want to run a search query on the app navigation bar, you click on search. If you want to see the different data sets for pivots, you need to go on data sets. You want to see all the created reports, all the generated alerts and created dashboards, you can jump on these different tabs. And then there is search bar where you can run the search query. You can see the current view, what kind of tab you are into. So search tab, and then there are some statistics, global statistics, which is how many events were indexed, what was the first event received how many months ago, or how many weeks ago, and when was the last or the latest one received. So the earliest one or first one, and the last one, or the latest one. And then you can also see in data summary, you will get a summary of data sources, from where data is coming, what are the different types of data that are being indexed, and the different locations of data. So basically, not just data source. In the data source, what is the source of data? The exact file location or folder location or configuration file, location, etc. The exact path from where the data is coming. Excuse me. And the search history. Search history is again it's like cached entries of what queries were run. So data summary tabs, so like I said, again, it is a list of all the hosts from where data is coming, sources, exact path of what file is being recorded or folder is being recorded, and then source type. So what kind of data is it? Is it a Linux configuration file? Is it a sales sheet, CSV sheet? Is it an application file? Is it a firewall log file? Is it a IPS log file, etc.? Email log file, email gateway log file, etc. Okay, so once you have the data ingested in Splunk and the data is parsed and normalized, so just remember this as translation. So for example, if you are in a group and you're a group of people, and the group of people is doing a discussion, and some people are from China, some people are from UK, some people are from Brazil, some people are from Middle East, some people are somewhere. So there are different languages, and they are trying to speak, but they're not able to understand because one person doesn't understand the language of the other one. So you need a translator to understand all the languages and communicate them in a single language, okay, which is, for example, English, because not everyone can understand all the languages. So the translator is is basically here Splunk. So it understands all the all the different languages or all the different data formats from data sources, and normalizes it or translates it and stores it in itself, and without being knowing known to each and every technology, it integrates with the different technologies, and make sure that the information available is given to all of them. So events is again, once the data is stored in Splunk, they this is much more formatted, time stamped, and provided fields and field values and nicely sorted, humanly readable raw data. So otherwise the raw data is readable, but it is not understandable. Yeah, it's very difficult to understand. So there is proper timestamp in it. There is fields, okay, fields like host, source, and source type. So now which machine it is coming from, what is the file, or the what kind of path you're collecting the data from, and what kind of log it is. It is security log, for example. If it is a web log, it will be mostly written as http.log. If it's an IPS log, it will mention, for example, the IPS name and then the log file. So you will be knowing from the file, from the source, what kind of data or what kind of log file you're collecting. And then source type, what kind of machine it is, or what kind of data source it is. So is it a Linux configuration file? Is it a web server log file? Is it a web email gateway log file, etc.? So all of these are called knowledge objects, fields, and so there are so many other things. They're called knowledge objects, and they basically enhance the data, enrich the data for you, so you can understand it in a better way, and it gives you more information. Unlike the raw data, which is like gibberish, which is like Chinese, and which is like a stream of alphanumeric characters all over the all over the page. So it's like they don't have formatting, they don't have proper spacing, they don't have anything. So you can read, but you cannot understand it. So we are considering a scenario here now. For future slides or future sections, we will be popping up some questions which which can help you understand the use cases and how Splunk can solve them. So throughout the course, we are considering that you guys are the admin of Buttercup Games, which is a gaming company, which is definitely fictitious, and then it's a multinational company headquartered in US and Boston and London, and also have offices in Boston and London, and they are selling online games, okay, and whatever challenges they face when they are hosting their games, when they are developing their games, when they are testing their games, and placing them from staging to production for selling them out, etc. So all of these stages and all of the challenges during this stage, so we'll be covering during this course. And now you can understand this is more of application analytics, right? So a software development company is having a business cycle wherein they have an e-commerce website, just like Souk or Namshi or Amazon, or which has online e-commerce website. They sell online products. So here they are selling online games, and so they have a website and a whole set of components like web server, application server, database server to maintain and make sure that they are up and running. And on the other side, there is also the business part, wherein they are developing the application, the online games. They are testing it, they are staging it, and then they are putting it, finally online production for selling them. And then there is support, wherein customers they reach out to the website and they try to buy it, and they read the description, they read the discount part, they compare products, they click. So there are so many clicks and basically reviews on the web page. And then finally there are different steps like checking the product out and then adding it to the cart and then entering the credit card details and finally buying it. So all of these metrics steps are also analyzed to understand what is the behavior of the user. In case of any technical issue, if the customer is not able to buy the product, what was the technical challenge. So there are so many teams involved in this. There is infrastructure team, there is a business team, there is application team, there is technical support team, etc. So one organization, and running a business, and there are so many challenges which can happen, and they will need different types of expertise, they will need different types of solutions. So how Splunk can be a single solution and provide a single pane of glass for visibility, for troubleshooting, for monitoring, for reporting, and alerting, etc., and used by all the teams, technical support team, application development team, or what else, business teams, customer support teams, etc. So all of these teams, they can use them. Okay? But here mainly we will be talking about IT operations. Okay, how the company is giving IT operations, collecting IT operations data, security operations data, and business analytics data. So you as a power user, you're responsible for each of you guy who is attending this course. They can themselves look at themselves as power user. So you're responsible for providing info to users throughout the company. Yeah, information. So once you collect their data, you have a lot of information which the users are not aware of. So you can enhance their knowledge by providing them what information they need to know, to improve the operational efficiency. You gather data, you create reports, and there's so many use cases. There are like numerous use cases, but we cannot cover all of them here. So there is IT operations. We are looking into IT operations data, which is information from mail, email, and internal network data like routers, switches, and firewalls. Firewall specifically is covered in security operations. So information from the internal network and badge reader data, for example, which is nothing but, I guess, the the swipes that we do using the ID card. Business analytics information from web access, logs, and vendor data. So basically your website data and your sales data. So many of the examples in this course are related to a specific scenario. So so you can see here on the top, there would be sections where you can see the scenarios and how Splunk can solve this scenario with Splunk query or any kind of solution. So for failed logins into the network during the last 60 minutes, display the IP and username. So definitely we can collect the data from internal network and from I think badge reader, yes, because that's how your logins and logouts can be recorded if you're coming in and out. Yeah, if it is machine, then you have to check Windows login and logout, and the website accessed and from which machines the traffic was generated. So you have a query, we can run a search query, Splunk query, and see the information. So module 2, this covers module 1. So I guess we covered in almost 1 hour one module. So we'll just take a few seconds break, and you can drink water and have coffee or something, and we'll be continuing. And if you have any question, please let me know during Salah time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
just few seconds. Yeah, just to
Fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.